Ooh, that was just, damn it. The song was supposed to kick on at the same time. Let's go, it's Friday.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
It's
Friday.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Yes.
I know.
Good morning, everyone.
Another week. Another hectic week. Right?
That's right.
So welcome, everyone. Welcome. And like always, we got Gigi in the house.
Yes.
What's up, Gigi?
Good, thank you. Everything is
Awesome.
good. Everything. I'm recording from my apartment today.
Oh,
You know.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Look at all those encyclopedias you got there.
What do you?
Yeah.
No.
Is that the what is it? The Encyclopedia Botanical, or is it called?
The Britannica. Oh my God, you guys are so bad. No,
Yeah.
I have some stuff here. You see,
Ooh,
I have some
Books
stuff
everywhere.
I like books. I have some of my dad's paintings and things. I have my little tchotchkes. Here you go. Okay, here. Now you see the whole thing. Here you go. That's the living room. Here you go.
All right.
We got Izzy in the house. What's up, Izzy?
Yes,
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing today?
Yeah,
it's home office as well.
Everybody's
Trying to enjoy ourselves.
No,
Good thing to be in our home office.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to my little home office and stuff, and I'm like, let me just go into the living room, dining room. On my Anyway, awesome. So this today, interesting topic, right? Because we're trying to always give skills to our audience, our friends, our partners, and those who are not partners yet, or just anybody out there who wants to listen to us, right? There is something that is like the big, what is it called? The elephant in the room, like lead conversion. And it's like, why do some people can convert so well, and we are, like a lot of the other agents cannot convert lead for nothing, right? It's like hard. They're getting an internet lead and they could never speak to that person, or they maybe don't do the right thing, and we don't know, maybe they don't have the right tool. So this is something we wanted to basically unearth today and discuss a little bit, right? How you guys doing with lead? I haven't done a lot of lead conversions with buyers because
it's tricky. All right. At the end of the day, and I don't know if you're going through this, but if we're talking about a buyer, for example, it's like it's tricky. Sometimes they're open to have that discussion with you about what they're looking for. If they're serious buyers, that's just me. I feel like if you're a serious buyer, you're going to be open to having this conversation. You're not going to be on the defense mode, I would say. You know, if I'm dealing with somebody that's on defense and they're not opening up to me and they're not giving me the information or answering the questions, simple questions, it's like, what are we really doing here? And I went through that. Perfect example. This past weekend on Sunday, after I sprained my ankle from soccer, I had a lead come in directly to me. I connected with them, but when I was asking them not specific questions, simple questions, they were on the defense. I still met with them. I showed them.
You see, the great thing is you even went like beyond what a lot of us struggle getting into. You were able to speak to the lead. You even met the lead. Those are like way down the funnel. So let's start from was it like an internet lead? Let's start from the top.
Yeah, no, let's start from the top.
Internet lead. You know, you get the lead. Sometimes you cannot even speak to them. You have no chance in speaking to them at all. Right? So you already were able to connect. That's like already like half the battle won, more than half, because you met with them. Even if they're like not really reasonable buyers, or they don't have great, like reasonable expectations, that's one thing. But already like you successfully converted. Like, man, you're a champ. You're telling us like you're struggling. Like, no,
the champ is here.
Great.
Yeah, listen, it's a process, and I'm what I will tell you is, I mean, it didn't. It didn't end the way I wanted it to, but it actually ended exactly how I thought it would. That's the crazy part.
Right.
But Gigi, if you want to throw up your slides, you could throw them up and then we'll kind of dive into it. But
okay, so let's take a look at, let me just go into this and make it into a presentation. I don't want to record. I want to present. All right. Why do some realtors dominate lead conversion? So lead conversion, internet leads, if you do mailing, like any type of lead, anybody that's going to say, yeah, I have some inkling of interest into that listing or whatever, or I want to know what the value of my home is, or if they answer a survey online from a marketing company you're paying for and you can get those leads, whatever, paid leads, non-paid leads, anything, like how do you convert those leads? Because there is obviously a little bit of an issue in this industry. And as we got some information from theclose.com on the subject we're treating today, and I wanted to give you some crazy numbers. According to the Redfin CEO, I'm not going to give you his name because nobody's going to remember it, the volume of real estate leads generated in 2021 was more than 6 times the number of leads generated in 2015.
Wow.
Like most of us in the industry have experienced the growth, but there are lots of leads being generated right now. But that's not all good news. The conversion rate has fallen rapidly, hovering at an average of 2%. Instead of like 5-6%, they have like a 2% lead conversion. Out of 100 leads, only you're going to be able to talk to 2 people. I mean, that's how the industry works right now. How come some people are like champs at converting, just like Ed, while some of us just cannot convert for nothing? Right? So there is
honestly, it's, I mean, part of what we're going to be talking about is a lot of different things, but partial to that is, remember, people are not going to have any kind of business for somebody who they don't know or they don't recognize. They're always going to create business with somebody who they really know.
They can trust and they can see value in.
Whether they trust, that's a different story. But yes, when they see value, it's a good story. Yeah. So in the sense that when you actually have that phone call, or when you have somebody texting you or emailing you, asking you about a certain property or asking you about their property or a certain property, you actually have to not only treat it as, oh my God, it's a lead, or oh my God, I'm about to get a deal, or oh my God, it's a sale, but treat it in the sense that here's a client who's looking for my services. I'm looking forward to working with them, right? Notice what I just said. You want to look to the fact that you're working with them, not the fact that it's a transactional situation. So when you start building that kind of rapport, in the sense, again, with the amount of context you get, if you're able to ask the right questions, you're able to ask the right, try to grab the right information, you can convert that lead into an appointment, back to an appointment to a contract very easily.
And this is why Israel is smarter than me, because he's like dissecting this whole thing to the mindset. And I'm like, I'm just doing. I'm like, I'm doing.
But that's the thing.
This is great point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's to the point that a lot of those folks, we pick up the phone and we don't know how to answer this. We just say, hello, how you doing? And then that's it. It's like, I'm looking for this. And then they never qualify the buyers. They never qualify the situation. Yeah. So once you start doing that and let them show them how valuable you can be. I mean, I've actually gotten a couple of phone calls or given a couple of phone calls. I'm already working with another agent. Okay, great. I'm glad you are. Tell me again, what is it that you're looking for? Maybe I can help you find something else.
But again, you guys are like masters at this.
Right.
Like, I don't even touch buyers because you have, and we're going to discuss like those tools, those skills that you need to actually work on so you can convert better and not be frustrated by like, oh my God, there is all those Zillow leads and I'm doing nothing with it. Ed and Israel definitely have the answer. And we're going to help you navigate through this because they are definitely better than I am at working with buyer leads. That's for sure.
Yeah, right? I mean, this is great for buyer leads and listing leads
and
as
seller
well.
leads.
Yeah, because I mean, sellers as well. They'll come out their ways and say, "I'm not ready now. I'm not ready in 6 months. I'm not ready until a year from now. So you have to find out different ways of nurturing them.
At the
end. So
and it's the same thing as just like an expired or something, but it's a whole different thing. I work more. I haven't done expired leads in a while, and I'm thinking of getting back at it because it could be fun. Are all real estate leads created equal?
We should have a buzzer for that so we can just go bam.
I think leads.
I think all leads are created. All leads are
equal.
Are
leads are leads, right?
I feel like all leads are skeptics. Like they're calling you and they're trying to figure you out and see if you're the person they want to work with. And if for some weird reason something doesn't match up, bang.
Yeah.
They get abducted by a UFO and they don't answer your calls anymore.
So I think at the root, a lead is a lead. So it's pretty much nothing until you convert it, until you move it down that path.
Well, let's hold on. Let's really define this real quick, because some people, when they pick up the phone, they think it's a lead automatically. It's not a lead until they really get into the point of asking real estate questions, right?
Right.
To the point of they actually show some true interest in real estate. Right. You'll get a person that says, hello, how you doing? Or even it expires and they start cursing you out. It's like, that's just a person you contacted. But then when they start asking real estate questions or start showing some real estate interest, that becomes a lead.
So isn't a Zillow contact or lead like somebody who's actually interested in any particular property, whether it's your listing or not, and you paying for the Zillow Premier Agent, isn't because that person is interested in or showing interest in a particular listing, in a particular property, already a lead because they went down with Zillow through a little series of, don't they have like a series of questions and stuff?
Go ahead. You going to answer that, Ed, or no?
I would say that is a lead. Okay. If you get a number or someone who reaches out to you through Zillow, OpCity, Mojo, whatever the case is, whatever lead source you're using, it's a lead. Unless they call you and say, and you pick up and you're like, hey, good afternoon, my name is Ed. Yeah, I want to order some Chinese food. Is this? No, that's clearly not a lead for me. Correct. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. But if Zillow or StreetEasy, Mojo, any of these services call me, send me a text, email me and say, hey, they say it specifically, you got a lead. Now, when you get that lead, it's a lead, but now you have to build a relationship, right? Israel said it. You got to build that relationship with them. So that's how you're now going to take the lead and try to convert it. Right. We all hear it across the board, right? New agents coming in, we all did it. Every time we're on the service, we're just like, these leads are terrible. You know what I mean? But it's not that they're terrible. It's just that, hey, we have to put in the work to convert that so that they like us and want to work with us. If they don't like you, they're not going to work with you, period.
Absolutely.
Thank you for establishing this. Do we have anybody with us today?
Yeah, Ed actually put something in the comment chat box.
Oh, thank you, Ed. Oh boy.
All right.
We're having a problem with Friday morning. It looks like either it's a slow start or everybody's on weekend mode or everybody's maybe at appointments. I don't know.
It is. Everybody went to networking events last night and they got drunk.
Were you there? We didn't see you there.
I had to get ready for this.
I mean, we were there. Israel and I were there. We left early.
We were there. Yeah.
We left early, getting ready for today. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on.
We got somebody listening. Here we go.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Somebody.
So, how do those super successful real estate agents move leads down their funnel? Like from the point of contact to basically talking to the person and converting them into a buyer, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, we can look at it from a buyer's perspective or even a seller's perspective, but from like we were just talking about it, right? And we'll blow through this kind of quickly, but again, call comes in, you now have to go through those qualifying questions, right? Let's qualify them. Let's see if they're ready. I wouldn't just like vomit. If somebody calls and says, hey, I'm interested in this co-op. Oh, you're a first-time home buyer? Yes. Okay, let me tell you what these co-ops are about. You know what I mean? Like, because we could potentially lose them on the first contact, right? I know on Zillow, and I think I mentioned it last time, but on Zillow we did a training, and there were 3 specific questions that you wanted to ask. There was a Zillow training. Let's go back to it. So the first one is, when would you like to see the property? The second question is, what other properties would you like to see in this area? And then the last question is, what interests you about these properties? If you take them through those 3 questions, you don't really have to dive in deep as to like what the building is, what it does. You can do that in front of them. When you finally meet with them, then you go through the qualifying questions.
Yeah. So that shows me that Ed has a strategy. And that's basically what you need. If you're just going to shoot some blanks, hoping it sticks, it's not really going to work. Just like we are industry, and again, a lot of us agents we have to really think strategically and think of what we're doing as a business. So therefore, there are certain strategies to apply. Sorry, I'm going to tell that person that I'm going to talk to them later.
To fudge off?
Yeah.
So
I'm a little different with that, but yeah, I agree. That's good. I mean, you always, when it comes to funneling, I mean, honestly, we'll get to that in a few seconds as well, but you always want to see how you're going to categorize them as well, in the sense that ABC, whether they're ready now, ready later, or never ready, kind of thing, as you're qualifying them. So
you guys, and I know for a fact, you guys applied this strategy. That strategy has to be repeatable. Like same thing, those 3 basic questions, measurable. Yep. How successful am I? I mean, are those working for a lot of my leads? Adjustable, meaning you need to tweak it depending on who you're talking to. And dependable, those have to be actually converting larger numbers. So let's go over. I think we can go a little bit more in details about that, and you guys can fill me in your secrets. All right. Repeatable. All right. So basically, a lot of us get a lot of leads, and at least you guys, successful agents. All right. And you're just like Ed was giving an example of, that nurturing strategy can be recreated with everybody. All right.
Yeah.
And and it's like a process that you can scale and replicate all the time when it comes to leads, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember hearing one time, and it was funny because I played baseball when I was a kid, but I remember that they would always tell you to practice your swing. So that's what this is. You're practicing your swing.
Right.
And when you're practicing your swing, in the moments that you actually miss the ball, hit the ball, whatever the case is, what you're really doing is you're never changing your swing. All you're doing is changing your position. So either you're standing 6 inches away from the home plate, you're going to push yourself back a little bit. You're going to go
you're going to go back to that, because that was the adjustable thing. Let's talk about the measurable part of it. Like that, those strategies, whatever you're doing, allow you to basically measure your results. All right.
Yeah.
In terms of overall conversion, but also in terms of performance of each individual component of this strategy. So meaning, like, it has to be, you have to be seeing how much result you're getting from that strategy, from the scripts that you're using, from the approach to the consumer. All right. So, and again, my advice is get some trainings in, for instance, Sekou Pile, commitment to capping, where a lot of those techniques are being applied each and every session. Like in getting the groove, right? Israel, you can talk about that, like converting leads, like understanding, is it a contact? Is it a lead? How do I approach it?
Yeah, that's what he does. I mean, he'll, throughout the entire, session, or any session you get in, it's always a mindset. It's always something new. It's always having to repeat and improve, and and just using different techniques or different tips. I mean, there's always a tweak for something. Probably the scripts, because look, our process is always a script. So maybe the script that you're using is not the right one for you. Maybe you need to tweak that a little bit in order to make that more actionable for you. So yeah, I mean, when you go to like the Sacred Pile, Commitment to Cappings, or the Appointment Academies, these are things that not only the mindsets, but it certainly helps you to build a better strategy for you.
And then you have the script practice by Israel Martinez in the morning. When are you doing this? Let's talk about this, because this is like really important for the team. Like you've been giving sometimes like really, really early morning to help us practice our scripts. Yeah,
absolutely. So for our team, pretty much I've actually opened up the Zoom to do pretty much a half hour to 40 minutes worth of script practice. We'll literally go over the entire thing. We'll go over the scripts. I'll listen to how you're doing it, and whether it's too high of a pitch, too fast of a speed, and it's helped out. I mean, look, I'm working with a couple that, in the sense that they've actually now have changed on how they're doing their speeches or how they're doing their scripts.
That would be part of conversion. I mean, absolutely. Conversion of leads, like, so you need to know what you're talking about. You need to have definite scripts. Whether it's the opening scripts to a Zillow lead, or whether it's the opening script to an expired, the for sale by owner, a seller lead, and so on and so forth.
Right. And when you're looking at the four things there, in the sense of repeatable, measurable, adjusted, you got to think about it. If you're making 100 calls, out of those 100 calls, how many of those did you actually get in order to convert into a lead? Like, how many of those did you convert?
Measurable.
Right.
You're right.
So then after that, right. And if you're finding that you're not getting the number 100, you only got 2, then you might need to adjust something in your speech or your script. No, you're fine. You need to adjust something in your script.
This is where, Ed had that great analogy of practicing baseball. Right.
Right. Yeah. And it's exactly what I'm saying right here. It's exactly what it is. So you now start to adjust your script. Maybe it's not the right script. Maybe it's a different script. Maybe it's something else you need to say. Maybe, start writing things down. And then now it becomes more, repeatable again for you to make that business.
Yeah. Oh, you need to learn your objection handlers, and that's where you can adjust, and accommodate the needs of those buyers. Because any objections is either a stall, or sometimes, if you really listen, it could be a condition. So you have to be able to differentiate both.
Yeah,
correct.
Right.
Correct.
And then dependable. Sorry, Ed, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I mean, if you want to finish it off, I just kind of had a little tip that would kind of, for me, it helped me, right? And all it really is, for example, if you take that script, I'm going to use Mike Ferry since we use Mike Ferry. Everybody has their own opinions about Mike Ferry's script. I like it. I like it because it's direct. Someone who's not direct is not going to like that script at all. But here's what I would do. Take the script. It breaks it down into lines, right? That's all it is. Read the first line, second line, third line, read through it. But what I would tell you to do is read a line and then switch your emotions. What do I mean by that? If you're going to read this line, right? For example, a solid lead nurturing strategies must be.
Yeah.
Take that line and read it happily. How would you read that happily, right? A solid lead nurturing strategy must be, right? Say it mad. A solid lead nurturing strategy must be. So now my expressions are changing. Now, what you might not realize is, look in the mirror. As you're saying them, chances are your sad expression or the way you would say it's sad might come off like you're angry, right? When you think you're saying something happy, it might actually come off like you're angry. And that's the way you're going to be able to see, okay, cool. Let me tweak this a little bit. Let me switch up. This is where I was talking about the script is the same, right? My swing is the same. If you're in baseball, my swing is the same. All I'm doing is changing my pitches. I'm saying, okay, let me say it like this. Let me say it happily. Let me say it sad. Let me say it mad. Let me say it angry. Let me say it like crazy. Let me say it like too giddy. That way you can see your different emotions and
I'm going to add
reactions.
something. And then I was talking to an Asian yesterday. I was telling her, in order for you to improve at that lead conversion and stuff, why don't you listen to the recorded conversations, because they are recorded on Zillow. Sometimes with your part of your CRM, they're going to be able to be recorded as well. We use Follow Up Boss. And that's a great way. I know it could be scary. It could be like nerve-wracking. re-listening to yourself in a conversation, especially a failed one with the lead. So those are great lessons. Yeah. And then you can go back just like a baseball player when you play back your videos of the game or football or whatever, say, here, this is where I missed the mark. So next time you're not going to make the same mistake.
Well, not only if you don't want to even go to Zillow, look, everyone has a phone, everyone has a recorder.
Yeah.
Just use it there. Yeah, listen to yourself do a script. Just listen to yourself do a script real quick and see how you sound.
Yeah.
Let's be and real. If you can't, and if you can't convince yourself as you're listening to that script, if you can't convince yourself on an appointment, then you need to readjust.
Now you know what's up. But think about it. That's what this is. Like, no one's really gonna tell you. Like, you're as much as we want, and this is a good practice, right? You go on a listing appointment, they don't choose you, they choose somebody else. Go back and ask them why. Yeah. Right. Like that's why, what I do. Okay, cool. I get it. I respect it. You don't want to work with me. Fantastic. I don't want to work with you either.
Yeah.
But
where did I
tell
fail?
me why you didn't choose me.
Yeah.
Tell me where I dropped the ball. What didn't you like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they will tell you. They will tell you.
Of course. That's gonna help you. And I feel like unless you're in like a dispute, then the person that's gonna respond to you is gonna be very rude and disrespectful. But if you're not in the dispute and somebody came to me and said, "Hey, Ed, look, man, I understand you chose to go with another agent. That's fine. But let me ask you, what made you choose the other person over me?" Mm-hmm. Right. Where did I drop the ball? Because I want to improve my skills. I want to do better next time.
For the next customer. Yeah.
And all they're going to say is, all right, well, this is what it is. And they're going to try to say it gently because nobody wants to hurt anybody unless you hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like you breaking up with someone. You're trying to figure out why they broke up with you.
Yeah. and they're not going to be like, well,
they're not going to be nice. They're not going to be nice. Sometimes they will. Sometimes they won't.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's just your time is up, buddy.
Okay.
You're done.
So this is just an introduction to basically what we were discussing. It comes down to 4 basic real estate lead nurturing strategies that everybody should be using. And those are, let's go with the first one. I know it sounds like almost like idiotic to even mention it. Connect with new leads immediately.
Okay, let's define immediately because that's so the call comes in or you get an email or a text message. Hey, new lead. This person's interested in this property. That's where you drop whatever the fudge you're doing and you take that call or make the connection. Right. Now, like I said before, ask them the 3 questions because at the end of the day, think about it, right? Somebody calls you, they're just going to be like, I want to see this place. Okay, what did you like about it? I like the windows. Fantastic. Did you like any other apartments in the area? No, I just like this one. You only want to stay in this area? Yes. Okay, let me find out when this is available and I'll get back to you.
What if you can actually not pick up the phone because you're already with another buyer and you're showing property? And what would you do? Don't you think like I would send a text. I would actually send a couple of texts. First of all, hey, I'm so sorry I cannot get in touch with you. I'm working with another buyer. And you can create those on your phone. You have those automated text responses that you can choose, create, and then, just bring back. And basically have another approach and just ask them, basically, and hey, what is a good time for us to talk? Just give me 15, whatever the case is. All right.
Listen, if you there's a lot of call right there. It's true. My bad. Text them. Just say, hey, look. And sometimes they like that. Hey, look, I'm in the middle of a meeting right now. I'm with someone else. Let me finish up with this client, and I'm going to reach out to you as soon as I'm done. And they'll probably say, okay, no problem.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the few words I love to use is speed to lead. I mean, honestly, the first person they meet is usually the first person they'll go with. But at the same time, let's just say that you're not able to reach them that quick. You're not able to send out that text. You're not able to send out that email right away. Then I'm really hoping, crossing fingers, that you actually have a really great script to convert their minds enough to create a lead out of it to set up an appointment. Do you also send them an email right away? Do you have your CRM, or would you automate your CRM to just send an email directly to that lead the minute it reaches you? If you can pick up the phone? CRM is set up that way. Yeah. Yeah, my CRM is set up that way in the sense that it's like once they click in, and boom, they're right away. But the thing is, it's exactly that. People don't read their emails right away, so it's a call, text, emails. It's just that fast. It's just the things that they use first. Call, text, email. So
So thank you guys for enlightening us with those great tips. Tip number 2, like begin and this is where it gets sticky, and this is where new agents have. I'm hearing it every day. Like, what value do I bring? I'm so new. I don't know anything. And
can I mention something about that?
Yeah.
The only thing that I feel had helped me through these moments where you're trying to figure out what the fudge is. I'm just going to use fudge today. I'm fudging.
Fudge is
right?
Good. It's chocolate.
But like, if you're trying to figure out how to provide value, what you should do is, and it's a quote, right? Like, you can't really judge someone else until you walk a mile in their shoes. So what does that mean at this point? You're going to look at it as yourself. Like, if an agent called me, what would I want from that agent that I would classify as value, right? For me, I want somebody to be on point. I want somebody to reach out to me. I want somebody to communicate with me. If I ask you a question, respond, right? If I'm saying, hey, are these properties available? I want somebody to go through that. For me, that's providing value. So now I'm going to put that out there. The second way that you can figure out what the fudge is value to this person is by asking questions. What are you looking for? What do you like? As you're starting to have this conversation and unfolds with them, what's going to start to happen? They'll open up. Depending on their personalities, they might just go into stories. You know what I mean? But that's how you start to figure it out. You got to listen and then put yourself in that person's shoes.
So this is part of the initial conversation. And then, like some of those people, if you're going to have the initial conversation, they might not be ready right away, and you're going to need to nurture that lead. Yeah. And this is where you're going to have a CRM that is going to be able to customize property search for that client, for that potential client. You can put them on drip campaigns. You can send them. We have great tools like the KCM, Keeping Current Matters, new spring buyer guides, and so on and so forth, or the millennial buying guide, or the seller guides. And let's talk about sellers. You can periodically send them CMAs. You have automated valuations from your CRM. It's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Again, put them in drip campaigns, so you touch on them. Like, you can still do your phone calls, but that the system will sometimes nudge them with a automated text that looks like it's coming from you, and an email with sometimes like some contents. You can customize that, or you can just let the CRM do this. Market updates are fantastic, especially in this changing market right now.
Yeah,
it's crazy out there.
It's slow because like when you come from a 3% interest rate at the beginning of March to we're inching close to 5.5% right now.
I just for giggles, I actually calculated a mortgage with a 3% interest, and then I calculated with a 5%. It's almost like $600 more.
On the what? On the $750,000?
No. I'm just I forgot what the value was, but I guess clearly if it's a bigger amount, I think it was under though. It was probably like 300K or 400K that I was looking at. I was looking at for an apartment.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah,
imagine
that
600. That's crazy.
So that's why we're actually giving out those skills, so you guys know you can be bulletproof when the winds are turning. No matter what, whether it's a buyer's market, seller's market, no matter what, like those skills that we're actually sharing with you, because we went through the rough times ourselves. This is bulletproof. It does not matter what market you're in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so acquire those skills and strategies, and you'll be able to weather all those up and down markets. And it's not BS. And I think this is real. Like, acquire those skills. What are we talking about right now? We talked about value. This is, I don't know what popped up on my screen. Spark. Okay, and this is where Ed and Israel are better at me than that. Spark regular, relevant.
But you're speaking in the buyer sense. I mean, you work with sellers. I'm sure you have relevant conversations with them too.
Yeah.
So
but a big bulk is going to be buyers, especially with those online and Zillow and stuff.
Right.
I feel like working with a buyer teaches you how to be patient with people. And it preps you to then work with sellers, because once you're working with a seller, you're almost catering to them. So look, do what you got to do. You're gonna ask questions. Just again, try to take in all that information, so that way you're actually again having relevant conversations. You don't want to be, if they're calling you about a place, you don't want to be talking about something out of the ordinary. Now, if they mention, oh yeah, I want to be close to the park because my kids play baseball and I teach them and I show them to play baseball. Get out of here. I played baseball, You see what I'm saying? So now we're connecting. Now it's like, oh my God, this person also played baseball. Oh, what position did you play? Now this probably has nothing to do with the purchase or the house, but this has everything to do with building relationships.
Let me be the devil's advocate.
I'm leaving.
Can you have a relevant conversation with the lead over text?
Yes. We live in a digital age.
Yeah.
You can even have a relevant I'm having one right now with someone via email.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it does. At the end of the day, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna read these questions or responses or your statements in their own voices.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you make it chippery or cheery, like, they're gonna read it, and if it connects with something that they're about, then it's perfect. I was dealing with a buyer the other day, older guy. He told me that, oh, you know what? I want to live close to the beach. I said, wow, why do you want to live close to the beach? He said, I love surfing. I said, oh my God, I've always wanted to surf, man. I love the water. I love swimming. I boogie board, but I've never surfed, and I always wanted to do that. I said, but I do snowboard. And he said, oh, get out of here. We always go skiing every winter. And we were just having a full-blown conversation about the mountains, about this, about that. Long story short, when we walk out of there, he goes ahead and refers to an older movie. He's an older gentleman. So he refers to an older movie, and he says, in this movie, the person tells the other guy, hey, you know what? I really feel like this is going to be the beginning of a good friendship. And that's what I say to you right now. And I'm like, cool. Like, did I present value? Hell yeah, I presented value. For him to say that to me, I definitely presented value. I don't know where it was, but it was there.
So I think that one thing, I mean, you both are saying is really good in that sense. It's something that just came into my mind as you're talking. There's a lot of agents out there who are introvert, who are not the communicative kind of person, who doesn't have the spark, doesn't have the way to enter a conversation, doesn't know how to start one. A couple of things that even when I started as well, and having to want to speak to people, it's one of the questions that always happens in every elevator that you get into. How's the weather? Right? Tell me about this weather, right? So you start asking different kind of questions. And if you start developing questions that are now current, whether the person knows about it or not, hey, I heard that, you have a new restaurant in your area. Have you gone to it?
Right.
You told me that you went to the movies. Talk about the movies. If you start developing different things.
And it's, what is interesting is like, it's about them, like always starting a conversation. I was thinking about you this morning because when you mentioned this or so on, so it's about them. It's not about you. And it's like, this is what, like people love to know that somebody is going to think of them and be of service to them. It's like, oh my God, here, I want to send you this because I was thinking of you for that. And this is an article of that, or here, I just saw maybe a home. I was thinking of you when I just showed this home last week.
Exactly.
Or yesterday. And it's maybe not a home that fits what you were telling me as far as the aesthetic, but as far as your needs and stuff and your stuff. And here, so it opens up. There are questions that are open up more of a conversation.
And that's all you need. You just need an engagement kind of conversation.
Yeah.
You need a relevant engagement conversation. So
yeah.
I like what you said, Israel, though, because in my opinion, if you're an introvert, right? I remember hearing, like, when they say opposites attract, right? You're dating, you're going out to eat, you got someone who's an introvert, you got someone who's an extrovert on the other side of the table. Always on the first date, the extrovert is always blah, 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 blah. And then the person who's introvert is like, yeah, okay, agreeing to everything. And they always say, man, that person's a great listener.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then the introvert's like, wow, that person's so like energetic. Like, I love it. Like, that's not me, but I love it. Like, it feels good. And that's how it starts, right? So if you're someone who's an introvert, how would you take that and spin it? Listen, You're a good listener. You ask the question, right? Ask
That's
a
it.
question and let them talk about it. Everybody loves to speak about themselves.
Of
So
course.
if you
Yeah.
know that, use it to your advantage. Let them talk about
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
You just listen.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Another strategy is, and that was kind of interesting, include your leads in the community that you're building. So it could be,
Okay.
So
this
Gotcha.
include
leaves
your
us to
leads in the
different
community building.
interpretations,
Okay.
right? So you could
Yeah.
add your leads that you've been talking to and add them as friends on Facebook,
Mhm.
especially on your business page,
Yeah, that's true.
or on your Instagram, and just like connect with them on that, interact. Again, if you're introverted, it's hard for you to pick up the phone. It's easier to connect by liking something they did over the
Yeah.
weekend and say, wow, this is great and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And and just connect, I think that's one good way. And then in this article we were using as basis for this training, there was, hold on, let me just put my glasses, I'm blind as a mole. Um, um, there was something they suggested that was pretty interesting, was offer coffee shop happy hour. Remember that, Israel and Ed? Where you
Yes.
actually
Yes.
supply coffee and snacks at a local community spot, and you can invite them to check the open houses you have that weekend, even if it doesn't necessarily fit their needs, but they're going to not only meet you but maybe get some inspiration and be able to open up other conversations, especially if that open house is super
Mhm.
busy. Good for you, great for you. They'll see that
Right.
like you're putting
Right.
like great events. If it's not that busy, you're gonna have the occasion to actually talk with that buyer and get to know them better. Again, another nurturing strategy,
Yeah. And
right?
there's also others, like, again, if you really want to take it to sort of a virtual level, right? A digital
Yeah,
level, if you create another, let's just say you create a community website, right? Whether it's in your area or whether it's a certain type of house, you can
yeah,
start inviting your leads or start inviting everybody to
yeah,
that, so that now you're actually giving them information, you're giving them all this other stuff, so that when you create that event, now you
right,
have people to actually send them to,
right,
you know.
yeah, yeah,
So that's another way to do it
right.
too.
Right. So basically, any ways where you can engage with your leads, where they could get to know you, you could get to know them, you could build like some rapport, and and as you do this, they're getting closer to actually being converted into a buyer or a seller, and that's all you want to do. And the last but not least, you want to supercharge your lead nurturing. We're just gonna, this is what we've been using with our basically with our brokerage. This is what's being offered to us as a tool. I mean, it's fantastic CRM. It's called KV Core Platform.
Hmm.
And I know it's been able to supercharge the lead nurturing because you can have what your leads can go. Let me use proper English here. Your Zillow leads, let's say when they transfer to you and you talk to them, they automatically, you have a way of just connecting your Zillow account to your
Right.
KV Core, where your leads actually go directly into your KV Core account.
Yeah.
And from there is like a lot of possibilities to help you nurture that lead. You could put them on the buyer's campaign. You can use the KV Core campaigns that are already made for you, or if you're a little
Mhm.
bit more tech savvy, customize those buyer campaigns. You could send them listing alerts,
Mhm.
right? You can even have paid lead generations, like what is it called, like Make It Rain. You can do mass emails to actually attract sellers, buyers, invite people to open houses. You have like great already designed like marketing stuff to just like invite people to open houses, tell them you have a new listing, and so on and so forth. Like there is hundreds of stuff you can do. You can pay for video calls. You can pay for what else, guys?
Yeah.
Tell me. I mean, there's so much I'm
I think
probably missing.
Look,
I think you covered a lot.
There's so much. We could spend so much time on KV Core platforms and going through everything that they do, but at the end of the day, the key is this: if you're with a brokerage or if you're a part of a team, utilize your CRM.
Mm-hmm.
If your team if your broker isn't giving you these type of tools and access, you should reevaluate where you're standing.
Ooh.
Okay. At the end of the day, this is your business. Okay. If you're not going to use these platforms that they're putting out there, or if they don't have these platforms, get them yourself.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that's going to help you keep everything organized.
And it's going to help you basically touch on those leads when you guys cannot, because we cannot be in front of the computer all day. We have to show property. We have to live our lives and so on and so forth. We have obligations, family obligations. So while you're doing this, those platforms actually help you nudge those leads, and if you're successful enough, you're still gonna you cannot rely on that thing to just do the work for you, but you're gonna have to, it's gonna be a help me, and you're still gonna get on the phone. You're still gonna have to send them some very, very personal text, because those platforms have automated things. Yeah, you might nudge them, but you don't want to sound like just a robotic thing. You want to actually put in some work and get to see, get to talk to those people. And you actually can see when they're interacting with your CRM, like, you automate the automation, send them a new listing and they opened it up. It's like the first thing I would do is like, you see, they've opened up the stuff and like engage. What did you like about this listing? I saw you looked at it 3 times. Obviously there's something there. So it's a little bit out of your price range, but can we find something else that would fit your budget? Very, very similar. And those are like great ways to engage.
Yeah.
Right? So
100%.
Definitely work with a strategical mind. For years in real estate, I did not have the training, where nobody told me to work strategically, and you make so many mistakes. Like you just try to, like throw shit at the fan, hope it sticks. And I'm sorry, this is French, I don't want to sound vulgar or anything, but like we have this community where we all sharing like different skills and tools. So please guys, like use it, because it's a cutthroat world. Like real estate is fantastic, but then it could get discouraging so quick because you're not getting any results. Right?
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah. Anybody, let me just remove this. Anybody who was talking to us here and just said here, listening to great advices.
You're going to have to go on Facebook to see who that is.
Right. I know. But thank you guys, thank you for the 2 of you for always, like, those are my wingman.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're here.
I know. Yeah. Providing great value to me too, because, by listening to your experiences and the way you're doing, I also take so much from it. I'm always learning something from you guys that I could use into my business, and I'm really appreciating that.
Awesome. That's good.
That was very kind of you, Gigi.
No, but it's true. That's why, like, if you're going to teach, you got to be able to want to learn something, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it is. All right.
So did we find out who this Facebook user is?
Because Facebook you already user. Know. I don't know. I got to go on Facebook.
It's time to announce.
There is no winner right here.
Most valuable posts right here.
Most valuable player for the week is
most valuable.
You know what?
We got last week. It was crazy. Last week we had like Savannah and somebody else. So
okay. No, Elsie's watching us on my private account. Hold on.
Nice.
And no, you know what? It is on the Alliance movement page.
Nice.
Let me check that out. Let me get out and get back in. And the most valuable player is
drum roll.
Vanessa is here. Vanessa, hold on. And it's, you know what?
Who is it?
It's Rosalia Borja.
Nice.
Rosalia, you are the MVP
you are.
Let's go.
And she was at the party yesterday too.
You want a lot of love and appreciation from us.
Yes.
Thank you. But don't hesitate, guys, to just like put in your comments, your questions, and also what you do that works for you. We'd love to hear from you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.
That's
so
awesome.
much.
Thank you.
The weekend. Guys, thanks so much for always tuning in. We truly appreciate your ears, watching. Your eyes, and your comments.
But let's not forget Jimena.
Next round of energy. I don't know about that.
wait. Hold on. And Joel, yes. Thank you, guys.
He's funny. He's a funny guy.
Next round on Izzy. All right. I'm with
If you come early enough, I might have something for you to sign so you can actually get your next drinks on me.
Hey.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend as well. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Ciao, everybody. My peeps.
Adios.
Yes. Where's the music?
It's coming.
Friday again.
There you go.